Yeah, so what's going on in Ethiopia or and how why Ethiopia's making its own drone, drones. It's very interesting to pay that attention. Again, this is not my story. I'm going to explain it in simple terms so we can understand what's happening and why just investing in Africa future should be a strategic U.S. advantage. So click below on this article so you can read more in detail. But basically, what's going on in Ethiopia? Well, first, Ethiopia is it's a country in East Africa. I think it has built a drone factory to make its own military drone. Just imagine, just to kind of, use for spying, and even fighting a war. But um, it's also basically flying robot, I believe, with cameras a weapon. But yeah, it's dope because the goal is to become more independent in defense and sell drone to other country too. So I think, Ethiopia is trying to make things happen. But why this is a big deal, right? I think Ethiopia first is definitely has one of the strongest army in Africa. I think history tells us that they've already used drone in past war, I believe. I think during the Civil War in 2021, right? Where drones helped the government defeat rebels who were close to taking over the capital. I'm not from Ethiopia, but I think that's based on my research and talking to my, Ethiopian liaison. So I think to buy this drone from like country like China, Turkey, Iran, now they're like, you know what? We want to build our own. We're not going to borrow anymore. They want to start a government, I believe, project in these spaces. So, um, but what else is happening though, in terms of that? I think definitely Ethiopian government, like, they really want to modernize the military. They want to update their weapons, training and technology. That's across Africa because Africa government wants to improve the military. The country, I believe, recently made at least 30 million just the past 3 months by exporting ammunition. So Ethiopia just signed this deal with China to share their technology, I believe, in their drone. But the bigger picture is that Ethiopia has had ongoing violence inside the country, man, in all the regions. So I think, although, peace deal ended, it's a lot going on in Ethiopia too in the past. Things are still intense. So I think there's also growing tension between, of course, Eritrea, the neighborhood country that used to be on Ethiopia's side, but now it's like odds, man. A lot going on. But I think to put into perspective, why should American care? Well, listen, the US drone technology we know is spreading. More countries are building and using military drone as the reality. So these raise questions about, regional conflict, who sells weapons to who, blah, 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 and how military power is shifting in Africa. So I think the US and its allies may, I think we just want to monitor how countries like Ethiopia are using tech, especially with help from China, Turkey, and Iran. So it's also part of the global conversation on security, tech innovation, um, and power in those developing regions. We have a lot of developed region, developed economy across Africa. So in this sense, that in terms of Ethiopia, who knows, man? Homemade drone, that's the future of African defense, you know. Who knows? But yeah, it's building its own drone. Addis Ababa as the capital. It's kind of one of I think right now again it's powered by China and local production, but this make a definitely a new era in African military self-reliance. I think why again should Americans care? Drone technology affect global security. U.S. defense policy must watch. I think you got to pay attention. You got to pay attention. It goes back again, making the case, investing in Africa future, I believe, is a strategic U.S. advantage. So click below, read the article. It's not my story. I just like to simplify so we can put it to perspective. Second, also, what's going on with Japan investing in African healthcare? Yes, indeed. Japan is making a lot of progress. It's also the articles below. Click that, read on that because um, basically the way Japan it's really looking at investing in healthcare in Africa. I believe based on what I read, Just a major Japanese company. I believe they're investing in what is it? Like, for example, Phillips Healthcare, which is a company in Kenya that sells medicine and medical device across, I think across 9 countries in Africa. Why? Because hey, first, Africa population is growing fast, man. More people are now going to the doctor, getting access to medicine and health services, creating a big opportunity for healthcare company globally. Uh, but I think what does Philips Healthcare do in Kenya? First, they sell pharmaceutical, medicine and medical device, like machine and monitor, because I think it's all about improving healthcare in Africa, but really we need more equipment. So they work with 100 company worldwide. They serve 9 countries in sub-Saharan Africa. Um, and, they're really helping grow bigger and serve more people across the continent. So um, now you have a situation in terms of, well, first, if you think about why is a um, Africa healthcare market important? Let's talk about that because Africa population is expected to grow from 1.5 billion today to over 2 billion by 2040. So as more people move in city and have access to hospital, they're going to need better healthcare services, more medicine, medical technology, and and chronic disease like heart disease, diabetes, and high blood pressure, they become more common globally, but especially in Africa. And Africa need a lot of modern treatment. So that's why I think that with this Japanese the Japan is doing. They partner with company to develop a lot of malaria drug for Africa. They're investing in startup company that use telemedicine. I think we have seen this. Especially telemedicine. Seeing a doctor through your phone, and of course you got AI. AI to help doctor diagnose people faster. So Japan believe that Africa is the future when it comes to healthcare growth. So and to really emphasize is that why is it Japan? I think in a way why Japan is looking at Africa. I mean, for Japan, I think their population is shrinking, fewer babies, more elderly people, and company Japan, they need new markets to grow. And they look at Africa. Africa is young and growing, increasingly connected to the internet, healthcare services, and most Japanese medical company, still focus only on their home country, right? So that's a big shift for Japan. I think that's why, by the numbers, Japan is looking to Africa, and by the numbers, I believe Africa pharmaceutical markets is, I believe, worth was it 20 billion? And it's expected to hit at least 34 billion by 2017. So the medical device market is definitely booming, expected to be worth at least 10 billion by 2025. So devices for hearts, cardiology, I can't even talk. I expect that to be popular. So again, yeah, why should American care, right? Africa healthcare is growing fast. And US companies, you can also invest or partner in the space. I think it's a chance to sell medical product, build partnership, or support health tech innovation across Africa because Japan, China, others are really moving in. And US company, especially in the private sector, you can miss out if you wait too long. So investing in healthcare, I think it's not just business, man. It impact lives, man, and it build trust and influence things globally. So Japan healthcare, I mean, they really know that 34 billions market by 27. That's going to be the African market. So, a corporation investing in Kenya farmer distributor. So I think Japan is definitely in Kenya. Japan is really turning its eyes towards various Africa, booming medical markets. That's why we got to step in. Like, listen, what China and Japan invest, why not? We have to act as U.S. investors, private sectors, to be part of the conversation. So yeah, again, click the article below, read that, and I hope that makes sense because we just have to be part of it. Again, going to be repetitive. Investing in Africa future, I believe it is a strategic U.S. advantage.